Hello, I'm George with TCRS. I'm at the Global Seafood Alliance's goal meeting in Seattle, Washington. And yesterday we had a great presentation by Gorjan Nikolik of Rabobank summarizing global aquaculture production. And there were some very interesting trends and highlights. And I'd love to ask Gorjan if he could summarize some of those for you. So, Gorjan, I wonder if you could just give us the quick microwave version of what you had.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here again. As you said yesterday, there's some wonderful people here. So if I would, let's say, focus on the main highlights. Let's split shrimp and finfish. In the finfish sector, I had this observation that it seems that the dominant country species producers, let's say Norwegian salmon, Chilean salmon, they're starting to slow down. They're starting to reach some kind of mass where the growth in percentage terms starts to become lower. You see it, for example, in the top three in tilapia. China, Indonesia, Egypt, really low single-digit numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Turkey and Greece in sea bass and sea bream, low single-digit numbers. But behind these industry leaders, there are smaller countries who are experiencing phenomenal growth.
Wow.
Iceland in salmon, for example, double-digit growth. We saw, interestingly, Vietnam, but not in pangasius, in tilapia, growing by 30%. So something is happening. The smaller countries are picking up, I guess, technology. They have space, and they copy from the best practices from others, and they grow. Now, switching to the shrimp sector.
Yeah.
There, I think we saw a very interesting difference between Asia and Latin America. Asia, which is the dominant global supplier of shrimp, 67-8% is from Asia, is having a difficult 2022. All the large players are either having negative or very low growth. India and China are both contracting. And then you wonder why that is, and you look at Latin America and you see a completely different picture.
Mm-hmm.
They're led by Ecuador, now the world's largest producer, and Ecuador is now growing at the fastest pace I've ever seen a large aquaculture industry expand. In nominal and in percentage terms. Last year, 40% plus growth. This year,
Wow.
It will probably close to 20, and again another 20 the year after. So they're going to add the production of Thailand in 1 or 2 years. So and next to Ecuador, of course, they're now the dominant producer in Latin America. But there are other very interesting countries. Brazil growing, and I noticed that Venezuela, we sort of overlooked it for many years, but now it's the next number 5 in
Remarkable.
and growing also 30-40%. So it seems that this really is the era or the years of Latin American shrimp producers. So if I would end the whole story, I would say 2022, at least what the survey respondents are suggesting, it's going to be a year with low growth in Asia and a total growth of somewhere around 4%. But there is optimism for 2023. With growth in Latin America continuing, maybe a slightly lower pace, but growth in Asia being less than 0, so then the expected growth is around 7%. I do have to sort of wonder a bit how the world will look like next year given demand dynamics and whether we can actually grow by 7% and do that. So very interesting year coming and very interesting results.
Wow. Fantastic. Really miraculous growth in Ecuador. It'll be exciting to see what happens next year. Thank you so much, Gorjan. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Bye-bye.